Hello, and thank you for joining me for my segment of Workplace Accommodations. My name is Lisa Trinh, and I'm a partner with HR for You. Now, what is accommodation in the workplace? Organizations covered by the Ontario Code have a duty to accommodate the needs of people with disabilities and other code-protected groups to the point of undue hardship. However, employers do not need to accommodate if it causes undue hardship or excessive hardship. So exactly what does that mean? The Ontario Code looks at a number of factors when determining if an accommodation would cause undue hardship. Some of the factors are: 1, costs. Is it going to cost an obscene amount of money in order to accommodate? And 2, health and safety requirements. Does the accommodation interfere with the health and safety of the individual or the organization as a whole? And 3, is there a bona fide occupational hazard or reason why the accommodation should or should not take place? And 4, does the accommodation prevent the employee from performing the essential duties of his or her job? Now let's take a look at a scenario that I've prepared. And please bear with me as I read the scenario. Maria has an 18-month-old child. She has an arrangement with her parents where they help take care of her child 3 days a week. So Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. On the other days, Tuesdays and Thursdays, she has her child in a daycare program. So in other words, her child is in daycare twice a week. Sometimes the daycare will call Maria at work to inform her that her child is sick and she needs to come and take her child home. This happens 2 to 3 times a month. As an employer, how would you handle this? Now, I know it can be really frustrating when you are relying on your employees to be where they're supposed to be at the time that they're supposed to be at, and they're not, because in this situation, Maria has to leave early to pick up her child. And again, I know it can be really frustrating, but as an employer, how would you handle this? What can you do? So in order to determine if accommodations are needed, we must consider whether or not the situation is one that is protected under the Human Rights Code. And guess what? It is. It falls under family status of the Human Rights Code, which is the right of every parent to attend to their parental obligations. Another factor that we should also consider, when determining if accommodations are required, is whether or not the accommodations will cause the company any undue hardships. Let's take a look at ways we can accommodate Maria so that it is a win-win situation. We can ask Maria to make up time by asking her to take shorter breaks. So reducing her lunch break, taking a shorter lunch break. Or 2, perhaps asking Maria to work a bit later on the days that her parents are looking after her child in order to bank hours, and then using these bank hours to make up the time for when she has to leave early or, when she can't come in at all because her child is sick. And of course, we can ask her to use her personal or sick days if she has any. Now, based on these accommodations, there's nothing here that spells undue hardship. So it's, in my opinion, that the organization should accommodate Maria because 1, it will violate her human rights, and 2, there isn't any undue hardship, by accommodating Maria when she needs to take time off to care for her child or to pick up her child from daycare. So with that, I'm going to leave you with one final thought. It is not always easy knowing when and when not to accommodate. Don't take any risk with your business. Always seek advice and guidance from professionals or employment lawyers if you are unsure. Thank you for joining me, and I welcome your feedback.